This here is a double bottom, a potential double bottom. If it breaks up, then the target would be slightly over range resistance. I'd put that probably at about 2069. That isn't a strong enough pattern to carry us over range resistance, but if we did break over range resistance, the obvious next target would be all-time highs.
Now, the third wave would only be in 3 waves. We would have an A and a B and a C right to this fib right here. So we would see a third wave, a short third wave. We're close to putting in a top here. I have 2 targets. I mentioned this in the room. We have a 3 that we put in here. Okay, we have a 3-wave move for a 4, and I'm looking at an early target area for the ending of this move before we see the 4th wave down into 73 or so. I'm looking at that from, say, 16 to 21. There's the early target area.
Where are bonds now? Well, bonds are at a really big inflection point. It's a monster, actually. This is the TLT lifetime chart, weekly chart. And it's very, very overbought, and it just hit the only resistance trend line I've got on it on a long-term scale. It's hitting it now, and I think there's a very decent chance that it's going to reverse, and that we're putting in a top on bonds that could last years from now.
Last week in TNX, we said to expect downward movement because we were putting in a 4th wave. Well, we have downward movement. Okay, so I'll take you into this this last leg down and show you a couple of targets. And again, look at the divergence here. The divergence here is sweet, very sweet. Here's the low in price, and you can see how we're diverging. So we're definitely in the 5th wave. That's a sign of the 5th wave. We're really close here.
What's happening on the dollar? Well, if you have a look at this chart here, this is the long-term chart I've been posting. We'd reached the test of this very important trend line. This is the main declining resistance trend line from 1985. It's a very, very big trend line. And this is actually a falling wedge. It's a monstrous, huge falling wedge. Stan was saying he was going to make a new high, which is great for me because this has broken my trend line. And that's absolutely marvelous, because this opens up the upside, and it opens up this overall scenario on US dollar. We're going to break this up, and we're going to head to this target I've been talking about for at least a year, which is 105. And that became much more likely because of that break yesterday.
Briefly, oil. If you saw the Aussie chart, you saw a potential bounce coming. And where I am with oil, I'll pass this back to you in a second, Jack. But to quickly go over this, the 3rd wave is here. We did get a lower low here. That is a B wave. We've been over this in chart chat. So I believe we have an A, B, and we're looking at a flat that is turning into a triangle. This is a complex corrective pattern. And based on the Aussie, I do think we may see a bit of a lower low. We could see 48.39. We could see high 47s. Okay, I'm expecting. I would like to see more downward movement, but I'm looking in the short term for something in the upward direction, up in the 53s. We'll see a D and an E, and then we're going to see 38s.